So why were the accomplished so dogged in their pursuits? For most, there was, can you guys read that? I have to move this gorgeous guy down there. For most, there was no realistic expectation of ever catching up to their ambition. In their own eyes, they were never good enough. They were the opposite of complacent. And yet, in a very real sense, they were satisfied with being unsatisfied. Each was chasing something of unparalleled interest and importance, and it was the chase as much as the capture that was gratifying. What is the, is that the only page? Oh, that's the other page. All right. What? No. Move the other one. Who's controlling? Somebody's got to be controlling this. All right, let's move the gorgeous guy over there. All right. Even if some of the things they had to do were boring or frustrating or even painful, they wouldn't dream of giving up. Their passion was enduring. And some, no matter the domain, the highly successful had a kind of ferocious determination that played out in two ways. First, these exemplars were unusually resilient and hardworking. It sounds like somebody you know, this guy. No, all of you guys, I mean that sincerely. I don't give any compliment about being hustle. When I see somebody's like not lazy, it's like the greatest compliment ever. So when I say you're a hustler, man, that's a big one. Second, they knew in a very deep way that it was what they wanted. They not only had determination, they had direction. It was this combination of passion and perseverance that made high achievers special. In a word, they had grit. Grit depends on a different kind of hope. It rests on the expectation that our own efforts can improve our future. I have a feeling tomorrow will be better is different from I resolve to make tomorrow better. The hope that gritty people have has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with getting up again. That was a lesson. Grit, the deep necessity to do badass stuff. How's it going, guys? Awesome Mayo. Rhymes with KO. But we putting the gorgeous guy back on the screen. You keep moving the other one up. I don't know which one you're moving. I won't do anything. I'll let you move it. Okay. My one sentence summary. You got to get it out of the way from the tech though. Put it down there, right? My one sentence summary. How developing laser focus on purpose and effort helps you. The laser focus on purpose and on your effort helps you reach your goals easier. Is that a good one? They call it Grit. This is a book review for Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. She is a Harvard neurobiologist. Big deal. So am I. And an Oxford neuroscientist. Why she got to brag about everything. And a psychology professor at Penn State. That's where they have the child molesting thing, right? Ha, Angela. Just kidding. What am I got? Why I got to go there? I don't know, guys. I get sensitive. She's a very accomplished, very smart person, and I should be able to say that without feeling threatened, which I'm not. You're not better than me, Angela. Anyway, this book is about grit. It's about these ideas of how people go to bigria.com, by the way. I've already said that. Bigria.com, the number one channel on YouTube for Indiana real estate, the number one, all kinds of stuff. Bigria.com. We do these one sentence, one page book reviews. So you should be able to, it's like you read a whole book in 3 to 5 minutes. Go to bigria.com for more, all kinds of stuff to create passive income. If you want to get trained to be a passive investor, active investor, go to bigria.com. Do it now. That wasn't a very good one. Do it now. No, it's got to be better. Working on the voices. This book, this was given to me. Actually, a couple of you guys had asked about this, so I read this a couple of days ago. And why is it doing that every time we change the page? Is that supposed to be doing that? All right, so it's okay. All right, so lesson number 2: build an environment of passion, and you'll have grit. I came to a fundamental insight that would guide my future work. Our potential is one thing. What we do with it is quite another. Without effort, your talent is nothing more than your unmet potential. Without effort, your skill is nothing more than what you could have done but didn't. With effort, talent becomes skill, and at the very same time, effort makes skill productive. Like being, when we talk about being productive, like liquidity and productivity, same thing with grit or with your talents or whatever. That's her point. Interest is one source of passion. Purpose, the intention to contribute to the well-being of others, great point, is another. The mature passions of gritty people depend on both. In my grit lexicon, therefore, purpose means the intention to contribute to the well-being of others. The bottom line on culture and grit is this: if you want to be grittier, find a grittier culture and join it. If you're a leader and you want the people in your organization to be grittier, create a grittier culture. This is exactly what we talk about. The fish rots from the head down, right? Everything is like that. The good stuff and the bad stuff. If you want something to be a culture, if you want something to be kind of a mantra on your team, this is what you've got to have. So many people now are asking us, the number one questions we get from passive investors are, I work with people, but I don't like them. My team is not doing a good job. I want them to do what you guys talk about. And I always say, listen, it comes from you having that first in yourself, having standards for yourself. I want to build passive income of 30 grand a month, 10 grand a month or whatever. Remember, bigria.com is the world's clearest instructions on how to do that. By the way, the whole project, I've talked about this before. If you don't know who I am, if this is your first time here, I'm Awesome Mayo, Rhymes with KO. My friends and I have developed a bunch of ways to buy and sell real estate in companies, hundreds of companies and thousands of real estate deals in about 20 some countries around the world. And for fun, we teach and train other people to do the same thing. What was the rest of that quote? My life changed when my son has special needs, and we developed a program teaching people with special needs entrepreneurship and business skills, and it's a form of therapy. And that's how I connected with Anna, my homie Anna. And that's how we started eventually bigria.com, the world's clearest instructions on how to create passive income. Did I get that all? You want to create, the number one thing to do if you're a passive investor is you've got to find a team, right? If you're an active investor, you got to build a team. Those are the two main differences. And you've got whatever you want, whatever emotion you want animated in your people, whatever ambition, whatever level of hustle, you have to first be a great example of. You have to first illustrate it for your team. This right here, create a grittier culture. It starts with you. Create it within yourself. Don't be that swamp. Drain the swamp within yourself, and it'll drain within others. And it'll automatically, when people come around you, they'll drain themselves of the swamp stuff, and they'll be we access the good stuff. To be gritty is to keep putting one foot in front of the other. To be gritty is to hold fast to an interesting and purposeful goal. To be gritty is to invest day after week after year, day after day, week after year, year after year in challenging practice. To be gritty is to fall down 7 times, rise 8. There's an old Japanese saying, fall 7, rise 8. If I were ever to get a tattoo, I'd get those 4 simple words indelibly inked. Fall 7, rise 8. It's a good point. Guys, the whole purpose, whenever we talk to somebody, especially like these wholesaling people or people that are trying to get involved in real estate, and we ask them, what are you doing? Or what happened for your business? Or how much time did you put into it? It's always something small that throws them off track just a little bit. Then something small throws them off track a little bit again. And pretty soon they quit. They're on to cryptocurrency, or they're on to, Forex trading, or starting an OnlyFans account, or who knows what. Don't do that. Stay committed to a goal. Decide to use your time better. You're no genius, my dad used to say when I was just a little girl. I realize now that he was talking to himself as much as he was talking to me. Isn't everyone that throws out insults like that? Oh, you'll never make it happen. Or, well, isn't this just another blank? When people put you down, it's a reflection. We have a great meme that's a little daughter's asking the mom, how come some people are terrible, awful, and disgusting, other people are wonderful, pleasant, and inspiring? And the mom says, because we all want people to feel the way we. This is such a great line. I realized now that he was talking to himself as much as he was talking to me, saying you're no genius, putting her down. If you define genius as being able to accomplish great things in life without effort, then he was right. I'm no genius, and neither is he. But if instead you define genius as working toward excellence ceaselessly with every element of your being, then in fact, my dad is a genius, and so am I. And if you're willing, so are you. Author and activist James Baldwin once put it this way: children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they've never failed to imitate them. This is something we talk about money habits. We've talked about this a lot. Rarely does someone sit down, especially like middle class or low income class. I need everyone except the top, the 1%. Nobody sits down and tells people about money. But kids pick up the habits, and they pick up from what they see, not from what they're told, from what they see. That always speaks to them. Indeed, over the past 40 years, study after study carefully designed has found that children of psychologically wise parents fare better than children raised in any other kind of household. In one of Larry's studies, for example, about 10,000 American teenagers completed questionnaires about their parents' behavior. Regardless of gender, ethnicity, social class, or parents' marital status, teens with warm, respectful, and demanding parents earned higher grades in school, were more resilient, were more self-reliant, suffered from less anxiety and depression, and were less likely to engage in delinquent behavior. This idea of demanding, you gotta be. Every time I've read any study, I know people, I might be on the extreme end of this, but people always talk about how, I don't want to push them too much. I want them to do what they love. And a lot of these ideas that are going to create LCs, demanding is not a problem. And every study that's shown again and again, the more demanding a parent is, the better it's going to be. Now, there's other things that probably you want to include as well. I'm not here to do parenting, but I'm just saying that there has to be some demanding, some standard. They have to be scared of letting you down in some way. Otherwise, you get all kinds of LC stuff. Let's put the gorgeous guy just over here on the screen. Did you do that? All right. I don't know. I'm reading we're on the lesson. Grit scoring can be a great predictor. This is pretty interesting, guys. Pay attention to this. This was done with West Point grad. I actually knew one of our heroes, one of our best testimonies we got was from the youngest at that time, the youngest, highest ranking military person in the entire U.S. military, all armed forces. And he was the second youngest ever. And he graduated from West Point valedictorian, I believe. And this, I'm familiar with this scoring, with this, what they're talking about. By the last day of the beast, 71 cadets had dropped out. This is like this grueling initiation process of West Point. Grit turned out to be an astounding, reliable predictor of who made it through and who did not. The next year, I returned to West Point to run the same study. So again and again, they try to figure out, how can we determine if we have 100 people that are going to go through the beast, how can we determine who makes it out the other end? And they tried a bunch of different things. And finally, it was this test, which I'm going to give you in a second, that was a predictor. This time, 62 cadets dropped out of beast. And again, Grit predicted who would stay. In contrast, stayers and leavers had indistinguishable whole candidate scores. This is what West Point gives them, a whole candidate score. I looked a little closer at the individual components that make up the score. Again, no difference. So what matters for making it through the beast? Not your SAT scores, not your high school rank, not your leadership experience, not your athletic ability, not your whole candidate score. Again, all the measures that they use to see who would make it through this grueling week. It's like a 6, 7, 12-week process. Who would make it through that? Every time they tried to predict it, they were wrong. What matters is grit. And here's how she was able to do that. Do we have that on there? Okay, so this is the grit scoring test. These are 10 questions that they would ask people to, and they would use this questionnaire. So I'm going to include these questions here. And here are the answers you can look at for yourself to look. This is A, B, and C. So 10 questions. It's multiple choice, A, B, C, and D, and E. A is very much like me. B is mostly like me. C is somewhat like me. D is not much like me at all, or not much like me. And E, not like me at all. So again, very much like me, mostly like me, somewhat like me, not much like me, not like me at all. 10 questions. Here we go. Number 1, I am a hard worker. Is that very much like me, mostly like me, somewhat like me, not much like me, not like me at all? Number 2, I finish whatever I begin. Number 3, I am diligent. I never give up. Number 4, my interests change from year to year. Number 5, setbacks don't discourage me. I don't give up easily. Number 6, I often set a goal but later choose to pursue a different one. Number 7, I have overcome setbacks to conquer an important challenge. Number 8, new ideas and projects sometimes distract me from previous ones. Number 9, I have been obsessed with a certain idea or project for a short time but later lost interest, like wholesaling, right? Again, A, very much like me. B, mostly like me, C, somewhat like me, D, no, that is not much like me, and E, not like me at all. I would say just put A or E, and everything in between is basically LC talk. Number 9, I've been obsessed with a certain idea or project for a short time, but later lost interest. I read that again. No, I didn't mess up. I meant to do that on purpose. Number 10, I have difficulty maintaining my focus on projects that take more than a few months to complete. So these are the 10 questions she used, and when they would use these questions, it was a better predictor than anything else they'd use to see who would make it through the beast at West Point. This is also used at different organizations. You can go to her page, just look up Angela Duckworth, and you can actually take it, and then they give you a little scoring test. But it's kind of obvious, you can read this and kind of get a good sense of this is what grit is. That you got right, just going through these 10 questions. I could have just read the 10 questions, and that would have been just like basically the whole book. That's the review of Grit, the Power, Passion, and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. Go to BigRead.com. Do it now. I love you.